I'm Vanessa, the girl on a bike, and I am in the wilderness in Wales in a pretty icy scene to test the new CTEK CS. This is a charger and adaptive boost, and I thought what better way to put this through its paces than take the Africa Twin out in the snow and ice. I think it is going to be a hairy day. Let's go. I am currently sat in a pretty idyllic location. So testing this new CS, I wanted to be in somewhere rural, remote, a little bit brutal, where the dependency on having power and that kind of lifeline support was going to be pretty important. So I'm sat with Jetboil, got a coffee going, I've got my iPhone plugged in to charge on the device, and then let me show you my view. I've put the coffee away, the bike is ready to go. I've got my CTEK power block in the back in case everything is to go wrong, because I've also got a heated jacket. I'm going to charge my phone, my laptop, give the bike a little bit of electrical beasting, but know that I've got that security and the sun's coming up. It's going to be a pretty epic day. It's pretty frosty and icy out today, and I've just discovered this ice skating rink. There's lots of iced over puddles, but this one is particularly big and deep. Got a bit of a river crossing, so I just walked it to give it a bit of a scope out because it's really icy. So the middle bit of the river seems to be very easily free flowing, but there's a sort of sheet of ice on either side. Let's hope we stay rubber side down, shiny side up. Woo. I've just sort of sledgehammer chiseled my way through an icy puddle. That is how thick the ice was. No wonder I had fun going through that. This feels like proper adventuring. So I'm out in the countryside with my big adventure bike, which is a pretty hefty bike if you ever had to recover it on your own. And one of the things that gives you confidence having the free in my tail bag is that should I have any kind of electrical battery issues, I know I'm going to be able to get it rectified and get myself home without suddenly having to walk miles to find the nearest person to help me. You might be wondering how I'm going to test having a CS out here riding. It is designed to be an adaptive boost, which means when you get a flat battery, it can get you started again, but in a safe way, so it won't override and overpower your battery, which can cause damage or upset the electronics of your motorcycle. But obviously my Africa Twin is being a trusted steed and has absolutely no battery issues. So I'm going to bake it and run my battery dry so that I can test the CS3 on its startup. Okay, I have run the beast empty. Sorry. Just to confirm, there's nothing wrong with the bike's battery. I have purposely run it out for the sake of testing this guy. So, this unit here, it weighs just under a kilogram, so it's not too hefty. Comes with crocodile clips to put straight on. Turned it on, and then it actually will adaptively work out the correct current to put into your battery to get it to a point where it's ready to start the vehicle. And the best bit is it will tell you when the battery is ready to start. Now, why that is important is because very often I have had a bike on charge that's been flat and I've been desperately trying to get to work. I actually nearly missed a job interview once because I had a flat battery and had it on charge, and then I went to try and start it too soon. And if you start it too soon when it hasn't got enough juice to actually start, you're back to square one again. So this tells you when you're good to go. Now, I've got to wait for it to do its magic. It's not as instant as a boost pack because it's doing what it does in a way that doesn't damage your bike, your battery, your electrics, etc. Same on cars, boats, etc. So I've got the jet boil out. Gonna have a coffee and a protein bar and sit and enjoy being stuck in the wilderness, but I'm not stuck because I've got my CS3. Pretty cool. Bike is back up and running, pretty effortless. That is so cool to have. The sun, however, is getting close to giving up for the day, so it's time to make a very snowy, icy way back to camp. And I couldn't have scripted this if I tried. So on the motorbike, I had to make it flat to pretend so that I could use the CS3. But I've just got back to the van and Murky is flat, so I'm actually legitimately having to use this to get the van started. So I'm going to plug it in and then we're going to turn it on and then we're going to let it do its thing. So it's on. So we're just going to wait until that goes solid and then we'll be able to start her up. So I'm just going to take a moment to enjoy the incredible sunset that's going on out here. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, it now says start, so we are ready to try starting the van. Fingers crossed. Hey! I can go home. Amazing. That's cool. Cool, it's the morning after. I had a pretty chilly night in the van, but it's all good with a whole load of duvets. But what I want to show you right now is this bad boy. So this is a solar panel that CTEK do as well. It is a super, look at that, lovely grey cloudy day in England. And right now it's pumping out 19 volts. Yesterday on a sunny day it was giving us 24. So what's really cool, my kind of thought process with solar panels is you need to live in some sunny, warm, hot, amazing climate, but actually in a really grey winter's day in England you can still get a whole load of volts out of it. Right now I have the CS free charging from it so that I can get a little bit more oomph for charging my laptop and GoPros and stuff, ready for some more footage. In working with the CTEKs, I've actually learned quite a lot about batteries, and I think batteries on our vehicles are a rather unappreciated item of how important it is to keep things running and working properly. So I'm going to do like a bit of a dumb down because it's how I've learned and been able to understand sort of the technology behind batteries. So a slightly dumbed down science behind them. If we think about a lead acid battery, we think inside the battery there's actually a whole load of lead plates and a whole load of acid around them. And when you don't look after your battery, or it sits still, or it's got loads of charge lost and then full charge, all those things that hurt batteries, the plates of lead in the battery will actually get sulfur crystals on them from the sulfuric acid. Now, if you think about a plate and you get a section that's covered in crystals, that bit of the plate effectively becomes useless because it can no longer hold charge and can no longer help the battery do what it's meant to do in sort of battery performance. And at that point, you've basically lost a part of the capacity of your motorbike. Additional to this, if you were to picture a pint glass, bear with me, and you have your pint glass full of a muddy water which has sort of particles in it, if you leave that for a period of time, it will settle and separate. And that is a similar thing that's going on in your battery. And when that happens, you lose the performance again. So when you start to bring in products like the CTEK chargers, which are smart chargers that will actually send messages to the battery to work out what condition it's in and then react accordingly, it will send pulses that will break up those crystals. It will stir up the murky water. Obviously, I'm simplifying it a little bit. But in that maintenance program that the smart chargers are on, it will actually fix and maintain and keep your battery health going. So you can prolong a battery life by up to like 3 times. So if you think about the cost of a battery, where you could potentially have to buy 3 batteries, you could just make one battery last that much longer for the cost of a smart charger, and they're really not that expensive as far as kit in the garage. Final thing, thinking about that, depending on how regularly you use your vehicle, you want to be doing a sort of a maintenance cycle as such every month. If your vehicle is sat for more than maybe a day or 2, you probably just want to have it sat on a trickle charger as well. Anyway, I've just kind of blown my brain with some of the science of all that stuff. It's really fascinating, and I think it's something worth seriously considering for any vehicles that you have that have batteries. They need looking after too. Cool. all packed up and about to hit the road. I'm gonna pop this bad boy, whoop whoop, on charge, because you can charge it from a cigarette lighter or from a 12-volt service battery, and it will fully recharge in an hour, same as at home in your 3-pin plug. But time to hit the road. In the trailer, putting some of the kitten away, and I just want to mention one thing about the CS3 that is a little bit, probably you could improve, Mr. CTEK. So the crocodile clips that come with it to go onto your battery when you need to do an adaptive boost. Don't know if you can see it, the pincers on here are not quite like enough. So they actually slipped off a little bit, got them on, and it does the job and you can get them to work, but they could be a little bit more like aggressive in the teeth. That's really the only negative thing I have to say about it, because legitimately I would have stayed in an icy car park all night if I hadn't had it to jump the van. So anyway, that is a wrap for me. I'm Vanessa, the girl on a bike, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe, check out some of my older videos, and it's time to talk through some of the questions you have given me on my recent videos. So let's have a talk about some of the questions on my Honda off-road riding experience video. One of the questions was, what did I think of the CRF? And it was my first time riding that Honda. I really enjoyed it. I was quite surprised at how aggressive it was. It has a lot of fire in it. It was super comfortable. I felt the riding position was really solid. It felt like a very, very nice bike. I obviously only rode it for the day and I didn't do a massive array of different terrain on it, but I think it's a really nice, solid option for someone wanting a reliable, good reputation, sturdy bike. So one of the questions was, where was the venue that I was at? So David Thorpe has 7 different venues. The one I was at was the Woodland venue. They're all kind of Exeter kind of way, so down in the southwest of England. Who flies my drone? That is Rocky Monster, my husband. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be a little bit more familiar with the term Rocky Monster. That is my husband's nickname, and he is drone pilot, which is pretty cool. We have a little Maverick Air 2 that we play about with, and that's where all the drone footage comes from. Question about whether going to the Honda off-road school would be suitable for someone who is a complete novice for riding, and the answer is absolutely yes. As long as you're over 16, you can actually go to the Honda off-road school and be taught how to ride a motorbike. So they'll teach you all the clutch control, everything like that. What an amazing environment to learn in. Most people have to learn to ride a motorbike on tarmac and concrete, which is quite a hard, unforgiving surface. So I think learning in an off-road environment with the people at the Honda off-road experience place is quite clever. Anyway, that is some of the questions. I love seeing your comments and hearing your questions, so please get commenting below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the ice riding I've been doing on the Africa Twin. That was mental. Definitely got the heart racing, and I learned some new skills, that's for sure. Over and out. Thanks, everyone.